Yeah, so I am extremely intentional about doing things that I said I would actually do. As a recruiter, it's easy to overlook candidates just because there are so many candidates in a pool or anything like that, or just as a wife, or ultimately when God blesses me a mom to a human person. It's we have so many different things to do, and the one thing I want people who are relying on me is to make sure I deliver. So I want that reputation of being as reliable as possible, to know that if Chenae says she's going to do it, she's going to do it.
As a token of being on our show, I learned this from my grandmother, man. She would give us funny pieces of money. And one of the funny pieces of money she would give us, like Susan B. Anthony's $50. One of them is $2 bills.
Okay.
So we put the word reliable on the word, and I signed it, the bro code, and we always put our "You Matter" on there. So
that.
we want to give that to you.
Thank
just
you.
as a keepsake, saying, hey, just like that $2 bill, you are both unique and rare, and we appreciate you from the Bro Code Show. So boom, there it is.
Welcome to Community Spotlight, brought to you by Bro Code TV Productions and hosted by the Bros. Join us on this dynamic journey as we shine the spotlight on local agents who are making a profound difference in their communities. These remarkable individuals bring creativity, wellness, and purpose to the forefront as they tackle challenges, nurture their families, and celebrate successes. In each episode, we explore their unique stories and initiatives, offering an inspiring glimpse into the world of community transformation. Get ready to be inspired by those who are leaving an undeniable mark on their neighborhoods.
You right there. We want you to enjoy the show, but before you do that, hit that subscribe button. And look, we got so much dope content going on around here on the Bro Code Show. Hit that notification button too, baby, so that way when it drops, you'll know. Enjoy the show. Peace.
This show is sponsored by Basics, the branding experts who bring your vision to life. For over 30 years, Basics has delivered top quality screen printing, embroidery, and custom branding solutions. Whether it's corporate merch, team gear, or event swag, they've got you covered. We're proud to partner with a company that believes in quality and excellence just like we do. Visit wearebasics.com. Call 919-833-3851 or stop by 414 DuPont Circle, O'Reilly, NC. Your brand, our business.
Welcome to the Bro Code Show Community Spotlight Edition in honor of Women's History Month. We're kicking off a powerful 3-part series celebrating Black women in tech who are breaking barriers, showing up boldly, and leading fearlessly despite the challenges. Today's guest is a true powerhouse, and we can't wait to dive in. Meet Chenae Erkerd? I got it right. I'm horrible with names, Chenae, so I did get that right, though. Then. Okay, awesome. She's a wife, dog mom, tech pro, and creative force. Whether she's mentoring in the industry, pushing boundaries in AI, or showing love to her 4-legged best friends, Chenae brings passion to everything that she does. So let's get into it. Chenae, what's happening? How you doing?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the Bro Code Show Community Spotlight. How you feeling?
I'm good.
Yeah, we had a little Jesus chicken earlier. We got some of that good stuff in us. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. Yeah, they ain't gave us no money yet, but we're gonna work it out.
My grandma always said, ain't no need to complain.
Ain't no need to complain. That's the Jesus chicken. I ain't mad. They close on Sunday. So nonetheless, let's have some fun. We're gonna dig deep. We're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna talk about dogs. We're gonna talk about wellness. We're gonna talk about IT. We're gonna talk, of course, recruiter cousin. But I wanna have some fun first. Is that cool?
Let's do it.
If your dogs could give a TEDx talk, what would they be experts in?
I would say they would be experts in knowing how to be tired without working.
Knowing how to be tired without working.
For some reason, they get extremely tired at the end of the day, but they ain't work nowhere.
And they ain't went nowhere.
They ain't work nowhere. They don't pay not one bill. All they do is play, and then they get tired. They eat, they sleep, they poop, all the things. So I would say they would teach people how to be tired without working.
Okay.
And I would probably say they would teach people how to go about the innocence of life and not take it too seriously.
Let's dig a little deeper in that one, because sometimes, we take things a little bit too serious. Like, life is something that none of us are gonna make it out alive, right? So what does that look like to you? What is a fun day? I gotta ask that. All right, what's a fun day for Chenae?
I would say It's interesting because a fun day for me is a lot of different things. It could be, I love playing basketball, so
Okay.
it can be playing basketball. It could be personal training because I also love going to the gym.
Okay.
It could be going to brunch. It could be a rooftop vibe. It could be a line dance. I will line dance anybody off the floor.
I can attest to that. But nonetheless, go ahead. What you got?
So it would be that. It would be like as simple as being in the house playing tag with my husband. So we're working on having children, and we are in the midst of working on having children.
Yeah.
We are also big children, and so we play tag in the house. We wrestle. Just all the things of not having to leave the house if we don't want to, not having to spend any money if we don't want to. It's that genuine, childlike at its very core love. So something as simple as that.
Being a big kid, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, you speak about marriage, so I have to ask about you and your husband. Who's a bigger tech nerd, you or him?
Terrence Erkerd.
You didn't even let me finish the
Terrence
question.
Erkerd.
How you just go put Terrence out there like the Terrence? Look.
Because people in the public think it's me. Whatever it is not me. It's him.
Well,
And
how
then
is
when-
he a
baby,
bigger
when you
nerd
see
though?
this,
Like, explain this to me.
Terrence, when you see this, just know I called you out. My husband really loves tech. He is the hardware and software of tech. Started out more of hardware and now focused on a lot of software. So he Alexa'd my house. I didn't know that Alexa can turn on lights off. I didn't know that Alexa can be connected to a curtain. So we tell the curtains
Thermostat?
open and close in the morning and in the evening. I didn't know that Alexa can make announcements, and he calls me from downstairs when dinner is ready. If I'm in my room, if I'm in my office, he'll call me and with the little bell sound and say, dinner's ready, but he'll add like a joke to it. But I also didn't know that you can make announcements with the Alexa app while he's at work and I'm at home. So he would do things to scare me when I'm in the house by myself. And so he would do stuff like he would go, woo, and I'm wondering, trying to figure out where the sound came from.
Yeah.
And then he'll text me and he'll start laughing, or he'll call me and start laughing because
like
he can
Terrence.
also see me.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure out where is that coming from.
him.
Yeah. So he's
my guy.
that kind of husband. It's great. It's a great place to be.
That's what's up, man. Being a bitch. Shout out to Terrence, man. Keep woo-wooing and all that good stuff. I love it, man. What sparked your love for tech? Like, I work with children and I always talk about sparks, that thing that turns it on for them. And you never really know what that thing is. If you could take me back, like what was that spark for you? How did you really fall in love with that space?
So to be honest, I never saw myself in tech.
Really?
Like ever. I was never the technical person. I am a very traditional, if I learned how to do a certain thing a certain way, it's hard for me to break away from that type of cycle that I'm on. So even now, my husband tries to break me away from the traditional ways that I would do things. He'll go, babe, it's a smarter way to do this, or it's an easier way to do this. And it's a technical way, and sometimes I still have issues with breaking away from my old ways of doing things. I fell in love with tech just from being a tech recruiter. And I got a chance to learn a lot of different areas of tech, forms of tech, and how engineers, program and product managers, cybersecurity professionals, call center technicians, how a lot of them would just go about their job every single day. I learned a lot of the nuances. I learned a lot of the technological advances. I learned that I needed to go to tech conferences in order for me to make sure that I was up on just the knowledge of what was happening with the advances of the technical space. I fell in love with tech simply because it made my life easier. The idea behind making your life easier with tech is taking the work that you do and diversifying it, and then being able to not only be in the innovative space, but then to also automate, to be able to streamline, optimizing. It's a lot of different things that within our businesses or within our simple social media lives that we can do that tech allows us to do in a more simple and easy way.
Brocode TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
I'm curious, when it talks about amplifying and leveling up, you said that you didn't know that you were going to be in the tech space. So what was the defining moment? Like, what was the moment? Was there a moment? Was there a mentor? Was there a conference? Was there someone that exposed you into a space that you saw someone, heard someone, and knew that, hey, this is something that I want to chase after, learn more about, and become involved in?
So my foundation came from, so I'm a law school graduate, I have a law degree. In the middle of my law school matriculation, I had to take a break. And so right after my first year of law school, I had to take a break, and I got a job at a call center for the Kodak kiosks that are in CVS. Those kiosks that they would break down, they would call us and try to figure out how to fix the kiosk.
You was the kiosk girl.
I was the kiosk girl.
Yeah.
And so that was the foundation of the hardware part. What I mean by I didn't really anticipate me getting into tech is because to me that was a job, and I needed to get back to school, and I needed to be able to save money and stuff like that. What was the spark was my husband. My husband is, when I tell y'all, he is every bit of tech that he can be, he is. Anything that breaks down, anything that is fixable from a very technical sense, he can do it.
Okay.
I'm even surprised when he fixes certain things in the house. I'm surprised that he actually knows how to do it. Like it's amazing. Not saying that he's dumb in any way. Parents are very smart, but it's intriguing to know that he's so technical in nature, and so it sparked me to want to learn more and to understand what he was doing. So even when I would be recruiting, or even when I thought about getting into tech recruiting, I would look at some of the codes that he was kind of formulating, or I would look at some of the trends that he was doing, and he would show me what it would look like on the back end or the front end. And it kind of sparked my interest, because a lot of the letters and numbers and semicolons and colons and all of the things that were kind of going after one another, it was interesting. So it just made me want to learn more. And then I learned what those coding languages were. I learned that they might be Java or Python or JavaScript, and what's back end, what's front end. Not only at work, but I learned a lot of that on my personal time too. So that was what really sparked me to get into tech.
I love it. I once heard that success leaves clues. If that be true, then mistakes leaves clues too.
Absolutely.
What's the best mistake that you made while learning the ropes, while coming into the tech space, and maybe having an aha moment that would be considered a mistake?
Going too fast.
Explain that to me.
I had to slow down. I'm someone so as a recruiter, I deliver, and I mean that. So when I deliver and I get on a rhythm, I'll start speeding up, because the energy for me, and a recruiter will tell you, one of the best parts about our jobs is making an offer to somebody and being able to take a person's job search and transition that into an offer, and then be able to see that person's face light up and be able to feel how they feel when they get that offer, whether it's in base salary, whether it's in sign-on, whether it's in stock, or whether it's in non-cash benefits and all of those things. In the very middle of the process, I may miss something which can completely mess up a number in an offer, or it can mess up a package in any way.
We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, I wanna talk about wellness. I wanna talk about family. We can talk a little bit more about Terrence too, because I don't like how you just put my man on the spot like that. And on behalf of all the bros out there and the husbands out there, we gotta get our get back. However, therefore, inconsequently, we will be right back on the Bro Code Show.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
Let's talk about this thing called career. What is one thing about the tech industry that you wish more Black women knew about?
I wish we knew that it was possible. That's as simple as that sounds. A lot of Black women or Black people in general don't know that it's possible. So what I mean by possibility is that there are a lot of companies in the world that people would find their dream companies would be. So whether it's big tech, big law, big health, real property or big property or anything like that, it's genuinely this feeling of, I don't think they're going to look my way because of how I look, how I speak, how I sound, my hair, and all of those things. So when I started to build my network on LinkedIn, I started to post stuff like, I'm a Black girl from Camden, New Jersey, who got natural hair. I'm a Delta, so I'm a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, who is a Black sorority. I went to 2 HBCUs, and I work in big tech. It's the possibility of knowing that it's actually there. And so the question then becomes, from that possibility, once you realize that, how am I now to get there? Chenae, what are the steps in order for me to get there? And that's what I teach most of the time. It's taking transferable skills and direct skills, knowing the differences between the two, and then being able to get to your next opportunity. But it has to start with your possibility.
Possibilities. I love that. I live in a world of possibilities. The word itself says I'm possible, right? When
That's
you think, right. I love that. Your shirt says recruiter cousin.
Yeah.
Hashtag, excuse me.
Let me move my hair.
Hashtag recruiter cousin. Talk to me more about names matter, right? And I can only assume that's the name of your business, right? You could have called it anything. So first of all, why you chose recruiter cousin? What's the ethos behind that? What's the core to that?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah. So recruiter cousin came out of a need for people to be able to relate to recruiters. So when I started my recruiting journey, and then I started getting more serious about being on LinkedIn, whether it was, or social media in general, whether it was LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, whatever, YouTube, whatever social media platform we have, one of the trends that I found was that recruiters have this stereotype or this thing about them is that they either ghost candidates, we don't respond to people, we don't respond in a timely manner, the communication is off. It's a lot of different things that happen around recruiting that people don't understand. And so I wanted to be the person who you didn't have an issue with getting in contact with. So the cousin came from just being able to be family, right? If normally with Black people, if we don't say, hey friend, we say, what's up cousin? Right. It's the idea of being able to be approachable and be family, and then be able to come together and be a little bit as personable as possible. So that's where recruiter cousin came from. I then expanded that into giving different advice on how to find a job, tips and tricks around that, along with helping different people on how to, let's say, mock interview, and for me to be able to sit there and kind of drill you on different questions so that you understand how to interview in front of anyone. Then it went from that to, let me see if I can actually help you negotiate your salary. It went from that to, can I help you also build your following, and how can I push business to you? If I can't help a person, how can I then push to a client of mine or a friend of mine, and all of that? It's all about community. So that's where recruiter cousin came from. It's the communal aspect, but then it's also being able to feel like your family.
Well, I was going to ask you how you use your platform to help others, but you already answered that one. Clearly, you are way ahead of me. But interesting question would be is, we know that there's barriers, whether that be through race, gender, and everything in between. So how do you use your platform to help amplify the voice of those that look like you, don't look like you? And then also the second part, how do you help them break into an industry that may be cumbersome to even get into or be introduced into?
So how do I help people who look like me and who don't look like me? So let me start there. Before I was a recruiter, I was a spoken word artist. So still, spoken word artist and motivational speaker. I use motivational speaking, spoken word, and then recruiting all in one. So before I became a recruiter, before I accepted my very first recruiting assignment, I prayed and I asked God if I could be a recruiter. That was the first thing. It was me asking permission. Because if he's given me this opportunity, I need to ask for permission to be able to receive it. And the reason for that is because I understand, and I think a lot of us understand, that everything is good is in God. So I needed to make sure that this good thing was a God thing. And so that was the first question. The first question I asked was, can I take this opportunity? Then the second thing I said was a promise. I made two promises. The first promise was I would never forget my first passion, which was motivational speaking and spoken word artistry, and I would never forget what it felt like to be a candidate. And it's being able to take all of those things and transition that into getting people to believe that they can do anything that is possible for them to do. It's the idea that genuinely I can do all things through Christ, right? It's the genuine be anxious for nothing. And it's me being able to take what I learned from me being a child to almost 36 years old and being able to then apply that to the people who just need the motivation. So I start with that energy. Then transitioning that into how do I get people to believe that they can go into those spaces or transition into those spaces? I start with like, what do you want to do? That's the first question I ask people is, what do you want to do? If you don't know what you want to do, I can't help you because I cannot tell you what you want to do. Right. So the first very foundational question is, what do you want to do? I have a few mentors who are GOATs in their own right. And in being a GOAT, i.e. the greatest of all time, in being a GOAT, they are also very assertive. I only surround myself with strong, assertive people and direct people because we can talk to each other and give each other the game in order for all of us to be successful. So one of the things that I do with my clients and the people that I work with and when they're candidates is that I also am very assertive and I ask them very foundational, what is it that you want to do? If you can't tell me that, we can't start anywhere. So it's being able to have somewhere to start. From there, I then build on, once we have somewhere to start, I build on, okay, here is a path that you can possibly take, and let's look at some options in order for us to get to the end result. I'm always going to go back to the possibility and believing in yourself. I tell people I sell confidence, right? So that's really what I do. It's the confidence factor of understanding and knowing who you are, what you want to do. And it's also being okay if you don't fit into these spaces. You're not supposed to, right? There have been many spaces that I don't fit into, and I'd be darned if I cared. It's being able to take myself and putting myself into the space whether I fit or not. If I don't fit, that's fine. It's literally, when I walk into a room, I own the room. If you are insecure about the fact that I own the room, that is an insecurity I don't feel like I need to nurse. Because all of us have this idea, or should have this idea about ourselves that we are great in our own right? No matter what we do, we should all know that we're great. But in order for us to know that, we have to know where we start. If you don't know where you're starting or where you want to go, I can't tell you what you want to do with yourself. So that's kind of how I encourage people to transition. Where are we starting? Where have you looked? And then how can I help you and build you from there?
I love it. Yeah, if my dope irritates your spirit, that sounds like a personal problem. And I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
Right? So,
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So, anyway, nonetheless, I appreciate you sharing. Of course. Well, let's talk about, because you use some powerful words. You use words like having a sense of intentionality, being great, right, and greatness. What would you say, in your own opinion, the 3 top character traits of a person that is successful in the space that you're in or can find success? What are the 3 top traits, maybe even your own, that has really helped with your armor to get you where you are now, and to be, this may even be one of them, and to build that resiliency to get where you are now? Yeah.
So I'll start one with a story. When I was probably 2016, I was working for one of my aunts, and she was a principal at a school. And I remember this is when like Black Lives Matter and all the things was really like being birthed. And so I remember I posted something on my Facebook about Black Lives Matter and being able to live out my truth and what was going on in the climate at the time and being able to say it out loud. And she called me to her office and she said, "Chenae, I want you to take down your most recent Facebook post." I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because I want you to be able to climb the corporate ladder. I'm already at the top, but if you post things like this, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get on the top of the corporate ladder like I am." And I said, "Auntie, with all due respect, if I have to silence the truth to get on top of a corporate ladder, I prefer to stay at the bottom." And so her colleague looked at her and said, "She's right, right? We should be able to be that kind of resilient." So I would have to start with resilient. The second thing is I'm extremely confident. You'll never be able to talk me out of my greatness. There's no way. I am genuinely a GOAT in my own right, and I know it, right? But I'm humble in it. So I would say the third one it would be humility. I'm humble in the idea that I know I'm great, but I don't have to present that I'm great all the time. I don't have to say it all the time. You'll be able to see it by the work that I do, right? Your work will speak for itself. Your gifts will make room for you. All of those things that we learn as we grow. It's those things. It's the humility part, it's being resilient, but then it's also, I'm extremely confident.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit brocodetvproductions.com to connect with the bros today.
Confident, resilient. What was the third one?
Humility.
Humility. I love it. I want to tap dance on that word humility just for a moment. I myself am challenged by that. And I talk with the fellas only because I like what you said, because I believe that there's a difference. One, how you spell it, and two, by definition.
Sure.
Humble, in the dictionary, I'm below no one. Not near nobody. Better believe it. But I do have a sense of humility. Why? Because I'm not better than you, but I do recognize I'm a better me.
Sure.
And because of that, I celebrate it.
Sure.
And I discount none of it and will sing it from the highest mountain. So I agree with you. I'm not humble by no means, but I do have a sense of humility. Why? Because I don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be the strongest person in the room.
Sure.
And my assertiveness and my greatness will exude itself.
Sure.
Naturally.
Absolutely.
My presence will always be bold.
Absolutely.
Whether I say something or not.
Absolutely. I know when I walk into a room, I own the room. I know people when I walk into a room, I know people gravitate to me. But I don't always have to say that.
That's right.
There are times when people will go, "You have a law degree?" And I'm like, And they'll go, "Why don't you ever talk about you having a law degree?" Because you can see Chenae Erkerd JD at the end of my name.
Right.
And it's not something that I actually absolutely have to say. So it's knowing that I know what my credentials are. And unless you make me tell you what my credentials are, I don't have to say it. They speak for themselves.
And last time I checked, reading is fundamental.
Absolutely.
Nonetheless, I was speaking with someone earlier, and I want to dig into this space of wellness, because we were talking about balance and how to juggle or maneuver in the space of doing this, that, and the third. For you are a creator, you are a leader, you are a thought leader, you are a builder, you are soon to be mother, right? Right now of furry animals, but soon to be human, right? Yeah. But what does that look like for you when it comes to keeping it all together? How do you do that? Is wellness important? If so, what does it look like? What does it sound like? How do you begin to re-energize Chenae?
Yeah. So before I'm a wife, I'm a dog mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a niece, a cousin, a best friend, a mentee, a colleague. I always say colleague last because colleague is more of an addition. The other things are privileges. The other things to me are natural and privilege at the same time. The colleague part is an addition to who I am. What I would say is the wellness part comes from me being really true to Chenae first. Before I'm a wife, before I'm a dog mom, before I'm a human mom, before I'm anything, I'm true to me first. So I deal in seasonal depression. So those winter months are really tough. And it's not every day either. It can be a moment, it can be sometimes a day, it can be sometimes a couple of days in a row. And I'll know, I'm really self-aware. And so I'll know when I'm just not feeling it. I'll know when I cannot push through. And I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
Because there is literally no point in me masking the fact that I deal with it. And for me, it's helped me and it's helped community for me be able to say, Chenae, it's okay, we all deal with the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, it saves your life when you're able to say it, because you have other people who can relate and you don't feel like you're, quote unquote, excuse me for lack of a better term, the crazy one, or the one who overthinks, or the one who's overwhelmed all the time, or the one who always has something wrong with them. It's that the wellness part for me, it's knowing that I need to be okay inside myself first before I can help anybody, before I can be a good wife, before I can be a good dog mom, before I can be a good human mom. I have to be okay inside myself first. So I also make sure that I do personal training. So I have a personal trainer, shout out to Smiley, she's great. I go have a personal trainer and I go to the gym 3 and 4 times a week, and she worked me out, whether we running or whether we walking or if I'm lifting weights. I was squatting this morning. So yeah, it's a fine line for me between knowing who I am and really taking care of who I am. So I have to know the two, and before I can be anything else to anybody else. Before I can even be recruiter cousin.
I love that. How you gonna pour into someone else if you don't first pour into yourself?
Absolutely.
Not that you can't, but that defines what you're pouring.
Absolutely.
All right. So pour of substance. I love that. Let's talk about the gym. Like, you over here talking about squats and all that other stuff. Like, look, you're not gonna believe this, and I'm not gonna get into it, but I have a heck of a weight loss story, and in that space, I have found a refined love and audaciousness, if you may, for going to the gym. And I do it every morning, other than Saturday and Sunday, but I rest on Saturday and Sundays. But I go viciously to go and burn 800 to 1,000 calories. Like, I go in there with a hunger and a thirst. Like, what's that? My trainer's name is Elliot. Shout out to Elliot over at Trap Fit off Rock Quarry Road in Southeast Raleigh. Dopest gym ever. Yeah, holla at my boys, man. Black owned, baby. Let's get it. So, what is your least favorite and favorite? I don't mind sharing mine.
My gosh.
Yeah, when you talk about exercises. So my least favorite is burpees. Can't stand it.
I hate burpees.
Oh,
too,
man.
But I would prefer a burpee over, I don't know what it's called, but it's when you put one leg on the bench and then you put
Push
the
your
other
body
leg
up.
out and you're squatting.
About Bulgarian split squats.
Exactly. I did them this morning.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Horrible.
Hate them.
It's the devil.
With a passion.
It is the devil.
And
I agree.
she made me do them after I did regular squats.
And you do it right before you squat.
Exactly.
Right before you squat, like regular. Yeah,
Exactly.
You're supposed to. That's the method to the madness.
But no. But she made me do it after.
Oh, after, yeah. So either way. She also gets crazy ideas from crazy places. What she did was she made me do squats and pulse squats on my tippy toes. So I had to stay on my tippy toes. So I'm used to it now of having, so it's nothing now, but now she's adding more weight, right? And then she made me do the Bulgarian split squats. Yeah, it is.
I almost told her off, but then I realized I'm paying for it.
Those are the best for what it is you're trying to accomplish, though. Those Bulgarian split squats, those are the best for what if you're trying to accomplish that.
But squats are supposed to build a certain part of the body I don't need built no more. Not no more.
Terrence, I'm gonna let you answer.
It's already built. I don't need help. I don't need no more help.
Moving right along. With that being said, so what is your favorite? Like, we talked about the least favorite. Like, do you have a favorite one? Like, I like bear crawls. I do. And most people don't. They're like, man, you like bear crawling from one end to the... I do. That's one of my favorite exercises.
I'm learning more. The more of the names that you say, the more I'm saying I hate all of them. I would probably say my favorite part of the gym would be...
that and the ropes.
I hate ropes too, but I do them anyway. I would say I love power cleanse into a overhead press.
Ooh, okay.
That's
so
my favorite one.
Okay, so weightlifting is
it's my favorite thing to do, and part of that is because when I'm going through something and I'm frustrated and I need to cry. Yeah. Sometimes I'll take it out on the weight and I'll cry while I'm lifting the weight, so it'll
no judgment.
Yeah, so and I've done that many times, and it's a freeing, most liberating thing I've ever done.
It is, yeah. The gym is my sanctuary.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
I like the early morning. This morning I didn't get a chance to do it early morning, so I do the 5 o'clock. But I'm a 6 a.m. type of guy.
Now what music do you listen to?
Well, it's called Trap Fit. So we beating down Jeezy, we beating down the block.
I love it.
Ross,
I love it.
right? Big
I love
X the
it.
plug.
I love
right?
it.
Yeah,
But
like,
see, so it depends on how I'm feeling. I can either listen to gospel music, I can listen to a motivational speech, or if it's a Bulgarian split thing squat that I don't like, I need somebody cussing me.
yeah.
So it just kind of depends on the mood.
Yeah. I could dig that. 6 o'clock, yeah, I'm definitely in there. Now, Elliot is a faith believer as well, so there have been times, because we do group sessions.
Sure.
So usually there's 6 or 7 of us in there. I've built a community because you have to be a different type of beast to go to a 6 a.m. class, 5 days a week. So we've built a community in that space. But sometimes when it's just me and him, me and Elliot, I'll listen to gospel. I love Travis Green.
Oh, I love Travis Green.
You know, he made a way.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't know how, but he did it.
That's right.
I love
It's interesting because
that.
I didn't like intentional at first.
Oh, you didn't like that
I didn't
one?
like the
Okay.
not only because I was waiting for something deeper. And I think God taught me through that song that there is not always something deep in a message. It's genuinely just as simple as he's intentional.
That's right.
And I was going through a really tough time in life. And what made me like the song was I'm going through this really tough time. And anytime I'm going through something, I can hear the audible voice of God. It's one of my gifts. And as I was waking up, I was singing, all things are working for my good. And I was coming to, and I was singing the song in my head. And I was like, wait, where did it come from? This song's not playing. And I just started listening to the song and loved it ever since.
I love it. Yeah. I find myself in that space as well. Music has a way, just the frequency of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. I wish you the best of luck in that space. I'm curious, how can people connect with you? What are the services that you provide for them through Recruiter Cousin, and what's next?
Yeah, okay. All right, Terrence, because this is what he taught me. He said, spit it all off the top of your head. So you can go to LinkedIn at Chenae Erkerd, Chenae. Last name is Erkerd, Erkerd. I am the only one in the world that has that spelling of first and last name. My mom gave me a name that can't nobody spell. My husband gave me a name that can't nobody say or spell. So Chenae Erkerd, and then JD, you'll see it. And then if you go to YouTube, it's Recruiter Cousin. If you go to TikTok, it's Recruiter Cousin. If you go to Instagram, it's Recruiter Cousin. It's pretty simple to find me.
All right, I certainly appreciate it. And what's next?
I am currently, so many different things. So I'm getting new clients every single day. I just recently got licensed as, for TEDx Paris Street.
Congrats,
So I did my first TEDx Apex last year, and I really loved the experience, and I wanted to be able to start curating so that I can give other people the experience I had. And so my mentor and I came up with TEDx Paris Street to honor the Black Wall Street of Durham, North Carolina. So we're doing TEDx Paris Street on September 13th of 2025 at the Hayti Heritage Center in Durham. And then from there, just making people's lives great by just encouraging people to be their best selves at every point of their lives and every point of their job search, and teaching people just different ways on how to find a job and recruiting the best way I can.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to speak to the young girl that's thinking of doing what you're doing, that young girl that maybe doesn't have the confidence that you have, that young girl that is considering not doing something because she feels that she's not worthy in that space or she can't do it. My question to you is what would you say to that young girl? What words of encouragement would you give to that young girl that's maybe dealing with depression, maybe dealing with something of unworthiness, and how they can continue to go and break through in an industry similar to yourself?
Yeah, so the first thing I would do is I would tell her to not be afraid to tell somebody that you're dealing with that. My husband makes it very comfortable for me to come to him and share how I'm feeling on any given moment at any given day, no matter what it is. And some of the conversations that my husband and I have, if you were a fly on the wall, you'd be like, how y'all still married? Like, y'all have those type of conversations. That's what makes our marriage so strong, because we talk about any and everything. To that young girl, I would say that depression, I hate to say it, that it's normal, because it's not, but it's more normalized than he or she thinks. Meaning more people go through seasons of depression, whether you can see it on their faces or you can see it in their lives. A lot of people are dealing with depression. A lot of people are dealing with anxiety. I also deal with anxiety. And it's genuinely okay if you're having a moment and you kind of need to be talked through that moment. I genuinely live by this Philippians 4:6-7, be anxious for nothing, but in everything through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. I say that to myself all the time.
Yes.
There are times when I was graduating from law school, a lot happened in my law school matriculation. Like a lifetime of stuff happened. And my mom said to me one day, how did you get through law school? I said, what do you mean? She said, the most recent thing, I went through a really bad breakup. She said, the most recent thing that just happened, you could have gotten kicked out again. Because what I didn't mention was when I took a break, it was because I got kicked out for academics, and then I had to petition to be let back in. I successfully petitioned, I got let back in, and then life happened more and more as I matriculated. And so she said, Chenae, how did you make it through law school? Because you could have failed again. I said, well, Mom, the Bible says be anxious for nothing. And I just bust out in tears. And I was like, oh, I'm crying. I didn't mean to cry, but I'm crying. And in that moment, I realized I did not go to law school, or I don't do a thing to be connected with somebody. I do it for me. So if I could talk to that little girl, that little boy, it would be to understand that it's okay to say that you're dealing with something and to ask for help. I'm great in my own right. I'm a GOAT in my own right, but Chenae will also ask for help. I don't know everything. I'm not perfect in everything, and I'm extremely self-aware. As long as you can be self-aware and as long as you can admit what you're dealing with, nobody can tell you anything about yourself.
Straight like that. You heard it here, fellas. Chenae Erkerd. I got it right?
You did.
I did. I'll pat myself on the back. Right here on the Bro Code Show. Greatness. Go seek it, y'all.
I would say the first thing that came to mind was accountability. So I genuinely live by accountability. I am someone who, I'm accountable to myself. I'm accountable to the people I love. I'm accountable to people at work. I'm just accountable. If I say I'm going to do something and I do it right, wrong, or indifferent, I need to be held to the standard of, Chenae, this was your work. Chenae, this was your idea. This was your delivery. Yes, no, however you did it right, you did it wrong, and being able to admit and then move forward in whether I need to grow in that area or whether I need to continue to move within that right path. I would say my standard is 100% accountability. And I think the second standard I live by is I refuse to believe anything less about myself than what I believe. I genuinely believe that I'm great. And I keep saying that over and over because I refuse to believe anything less. So my standard is believing in myself and for you to also believe in yourself and to know that you are great at what you do.
This show is sponsored by Basics, the branding experts who bring your vision to life. For over 30 years, Basics has delivered top quality screen printing, embroidery, and custom branding solutions. Whether it's corporate merch, team gear, or event swag, they've got you covered. We're proud to partner with a company that believes in quality and excellence just like we do. Visit wearebasics.com. Call 919-833-3851 or stop by 414 DuPont Circle or Raleigh, NC. Your brand, our business.
So first, I will say this is a very comfortable atmosphere, very comfortable environment. It's really welcoming. Lighting is important to me. Colors are important to me, that it's inviting. And so I really love the genuineness. I got fed. That's also a great thing. Even, let me tell y'all, I lost my train of thought in a question, and he just led me right on through. And it's being able to bounce an energy off of that stuff, right? I am not perfect in any way. We're going to make mistakes in everything that we do, even doing interviews like this, and being able to bounce back and then provide a better answer or a more clear answer, it's just always a good feeling. So to know that there is no judgment, to know that there is, like I said, accountability, but then to know that like we can just hang out, we can rock out. So I would recommend anybody come on here. This is amazing.